My name is Daniel. I'm 21 years old, and this is a story of how I lost everything I had to forex trading in just 30 days. I didn't expect it to end this way. When I first started, I thought I was walking into a dream. I thought I had finally found something that could change my life and my family's life forever. But instead, I found pain, sleepless nights, and tears that I never imagined would come from a phone screen. It all began one quiet evening. I was lying on my bed, scrolling through my phone as usual, when I saw a video of a young man talking about how he made over $10 in a single day just by trading forex. He looked rich and happy. He was smiling, standing beside a fancy car, wearing designer clothes, and talking with so much confidence that I couldn't stop watching. The video ended with him saying, "You can do it too. Don't waste time. Start learning forex now." For a few seconds, I just stared at the screen. Then I whispered to myself, if he can do it, I can too. Those simple words planted a seed in my mind that would later grow into something that changed everything about my life. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept imagining myself as a successful forex trader. I saw myself holding stacks of money, helping my parents, moving us out of our small house, and living the life I had always dreamed about. It felt so real in my mind that I decided right there and then that I was going to learn forex trading. I didn't know how, but I was sure I would figure it out. The next morning, I woke up with excitement. I went straight to YouTube and searched how to trade forex. I watched videos for hours. I didn't even eat breakfast. I was hungry, but not for food. I was hungry for success. I saw videos explaining things like pips, lot size, leverage, stop loss, and take profit. I didn't really understand all of it, but I tried. Some videos were too complicated, so I kept watching new ones until I found a few traders who made things look simple. After a few days of watching videos and reading articles, I felt like I had learned a lot. I downloaded a demo trading app to practice with fake money. When I saw the chart moving up and down, I felt like I was controlling something big. I placed my first fake trade and watched it move. At first, I lost. Then I tried again and won. That one gave me a rush I had never felt before. Even though it was fake money, I felt proud. I imagined what it would feel like if it were real. I thought to myself, this is it. This is my way out. After 1 week of demo trading, I told myself I was ready. I didn't want to wait anymore. I wanted to make real money. I had about 120,000 Naira in my savings account. Money I had worked hard to save from doing small jobs and helping people fix phones. I decided to use 100,000 Naira to open a real trading account. When I transferred the money and saw my account balance show $100 on the trading screen, I smiled. It looked so official. I felt powerful, like I had just entered the world of the rich. I told myself, this is the beginning of my new life. I placed my first real trade on euro to US dollar. I didn't know much about the market analysis, but I had seen a YouTuber say that the euro would go up that day, so I bought it. At first, the trade went against me. My account went down by $5. My heart started beating fast, but after a few minutes, the price went up again. When I saw the green number showing a $20 profit, I screamed. I had just made money sitting in bed. That small win changed everything. I took a screenshot and sent it to my friend Michael. He replied with excitement, "Bro, you go soon blow." I laughed, feeling like a genius. I couldn't sleep that night. I just kept checking my phone, watching the charts, feeling like I had discovered a secret the world didn't know about. The next few days went even better. I kept trading and winning. Sometimes I made $5 in a day, sometimes $10. Within 1 week, my $100 had grown to $150. I couldn't believe it. I started to walk differently. I felt like I was on top of the world. When people in my area talk about money, I just smiled quietly, thinking, you have no idea what I'm doing. I even told my mom, soon you won't have to sell fruits anymore. I'll take care of everything. She smiled and said, I pray so, my son. But she didn't really understand what I was doing. She just told me to be careful. I promised her I would. Then one day, I saw a trader on Instagram post a video with a caption, if your profit is small, it's because you're scared. Big risk, big reward. That message hit me hard. I started thinking, maybe I'm playing too safe. If I can make $10 in a day, why can't I make $50? I decided that the next day, I would increase my trade size. When the market opened, I placed a big trade. At first, it went well. I made $10 in just 10 minutes. I felt unstoppable. I told myself, I'm a pro now. I can do this for real. But suddenly, the market changed direction. The green number on my screen turned red. It showed $5, then $10, then $20. My hands started shaking. I told myself, it will come back up. Just wait. But it didn't. The red number kept growing until I couldn't take it anymore. I closed the trade and stared at my phone. I had just lost $40 in a few minutes. I sat there quietly. My chest felt heavy. I wanted to shout, but no words came out. I just stared at the screen, hoping it was a mistake. But it wasn't. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept replaying the trade in my mind. I told myself, tomorrow I will win it back. The next morning, I woke up early, determined to recover what I lost. I didn't even check the charts properly. I just placed a trade immediately. But my heart was full of anger and fear. I was no longer thinking. I just wanted revenge. The market moved against me again. I lost another $20. I was in shock. My balance had dropped from $150 to $40 in just 2 days. I felt like crying. I didn't want to eat or talk to anyone. I threw my phone on the bed and just sat there, staring at the wall. I kept asking myself, what did I do wrong? I started to feel afraid of trading. Every time I opened the app, my stomach tightened. Even when I tried to trade again, my hands would shake. If I made $5 profit, I would quickly close the trade out of fear. I was no longer confident. I was scared. Days passed, and I kept losing small amounts. My dream of becoming rich started to fade. I no longer talked to my friends. I stopped smiling. I spent all my time in my room, staring at charts and reading posts about trading psychology. I read things like control your emotions, follow your plan, but they all sounded easy until you were actually losing real money. Then one morning, something lucky happened. I placed a trade and won $15 in one go. I felt like I was finally getting my power back. I told myself, this is my comeback. That one gave me false hope. I thought I was ready to recover everything. I said to myself, tomorrow I will double this. That night, before going to bed, I opened another big trade. I was sure it would win while I slept. But when I woke up the next morning and opened my phone, my heart sank. The market had gone the other way. My account balance showed $6. I couldn't believe it. My mind went blank. I just sat there, staring at the number on the screen. I whispered, no, this can't be true. But it was true. I had lost almost everything in less than 30 days. My body felt weak. I didn't eat anything that day. I didn't talk to anyone. My mother knocked on my door and asked, Daniel, are you okay? I replied softly, I'm fine, Mom. But I wasn't fine. Inside, I was broken. I felt like a fool. I had gone from being full of confidence to being completely empty. That night, I lay in bed with tears in my eyes. I thought about how quickly everything had changed. Just a few weeks ago, I was smiling and dreaming of success. Now, I was hiding from everyone, scared to even open my trading app. I told myself I would quit. I promised I would never trade again. But deep down inside, a small voice whispered, what if you try one more time? Maybe you can win it all back. I tried to ignore that voice, but it kept coming back. It told me, you were close. You just made small mistakes. One more try, and you can fix everything. I didn't realize it at that moment, but that little voice, the voice of greed and false hope, was the most dangerous thing of all. I didn't know that this was only the beginning of my real downfall. What happened next changed not just my trading life, but the way I saw money, patience, and myself. After losing almost all my money, I promised myself I would never trade again. I told myself I was done with forex. I deleted the trading app from my phone. I said I would focus on something else, maybe get a small job or learn a skill. But deep inside me, the pain of losing still burned. Every time I remembered how my account once showed $150, I felt sick. At night, I couldn't sleep. I kept thinking, what if I closed a trade earlier? What if I didn't use that big lot size? What if I just tried one more time? Those thoughts kept chasing me. It was like a small voice that refused to be quiet. One evening, I was sitting outside, watching some kids play football. Then my friend Michael came around. He sat beside me and said, "Bro, how your trading day go?" I didn't even want to answer. I just shook my head. I lost everything, I said. He looked at me, shocked. "Everything?" "Yes," I said, "everything. I don't even have up to $10 left." He sighed and said, "Forex no be play-o, but if you really want to make it, you fit, still try again. Not only people way give up no make am." Those words stayed in my mind. You fit, still try again. That night, I kept thinking about it. I felt a strange mixture of anger and hope. I thought about all the people on YouTube who said they failed many times before they became successful. I told myself, maybe this is my failure phase. Maybe I just need to try again. By morning, I had made up my mind. I was going to trade again. I didn't have enough money to start big, so I borrowed $50 from a friend. I promised him I would return it in 1 week. I told him, I just need this small capital. I know what I did wrong last time. He agreed. I felt confident again. I told myself, this time I will be smarter. No greed, no fear, just discipline. I reinstalled the trading app, opened my account, and saw that fresh balance, $50. It looked small compared to before, but to me, it felt like a second chance. On the first day, I traded carefully. I followed all the rules I had learned online. I set a stop loss, used a small lot size, and took profit early. By the end of the day, I had made $5. I smiled. This is how real traders do it. I said to myself. The next day, I made another $4. In just 2 days, I had $59. My confidence returned. I felt proud. I even sent a screenshot to Michael again. He replied, "You day come back." But that was when greed started whispering again. I began to think, if I can make $5 a day with small risk, what if I use bigger lot sizes again? I can double this account in 1 week. That night, I couldn't stop thinking about it. My plan was to stay disciplined, but greed was stronger than my plan. I told myself, just one big trade. If it works, I'll stop for a while. So the next day, I placed a big trade. The market moved slowly at first, but then it started going in my favor. I watched as my profit grew. $3, $6, $10, $20. My heart was beating fast. I had almost doubled my account. I wanted to close it and take my profit, but greed told me, wait, let it grow more. So I waited, and that was a mistake. Suddenly, the chart changed direction. My profit started reducing. $15, $10, $5, then $0. Before I could react, it turned into a loss. $5, $10, $20. I panicked. I told myself, it will come back, just wait. But it didn't. Within minutes, everything I had made was gone. I closed the trade and saw my balance, $25. Half of my account was gone. Again, I felt dizzy. I stood up, paced around my room, and shouted, why? Why did I do this again? But it was too late. That day, I didn't trade again. I just sat on my bed, thinking about how I repeated the same mistake I swore I wouldn't make. But the next morning, I made another mistake. I tried to win it back. I opened a new trade without proper analysis. I told myself, this one must work. It didn't. By evening, I had lost another $10. My balance was now $15. I stared at my screen in silence. I couldn't feel anything anymore. I was tired, confused, angry, and ashamed. I knew I should stop, but I couldn't. It felt like the market was laughing at me, and I wanted revenge. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept hearing the sound of the notification tone in my head. That ping sound every time the price moved. It felt like torture. I told myself, tomorrow I'll risk everything. I'll put the whole $15 in one trade. If I win, I'll recover. If I lose, I'll quit for real. The next morning, I did exactly that. I put the whole $15 into one big trade. I watched the screen with shaking hands. At first, it went up. I smiled a little. Then it stopped moving. My heart started beating faster. Then it dropped. The red number appeared again. $3, $5, $10. I whispered, please, just go back up. But it didn't. Within minutes, the trade hit stop loss. My balance showed $1. I stared at it for a long time. My eyes were watery. I dropped the phone and covered my face with my hands. That was it. I had lost again. Not just my money. I had lost my peace, my energy, my focus. When my friend called me later that evening, I didn't answer. I didn't know how to tell him that the $50 he lent me was gone. I switched off my phone and sat quietly in the dark. I felt like a complete failure. That night, I cried again. I felt useless. I thought about how happy I was just a few weeks ago when I made my first profit. Now I didn't even want to see a chart again. I hated the sound of the trading app notification. I hated everything about forex. For the next few days, I didn't go out. I couldn't face my parents or friends. I kept thinking about how I had wasted all that money, time, and energy. I remembered how I used to dream of buying my mom a house. Now I couldn't even afford to buy her fruit from her own stall. One afternoon, my mom came into my room quietly. She looked at me and said, "Daniel, what's wrong? You've changed. You don't talk anymore." I wanted to tell her everything, but I couldn't. I just said, "I'm fine." But she looked at me and said, "You're not fine. Whatever it is, don't let it destroy you. Money lost can come back, but life lost cannot." Her words hit me deeply. That was the first time I felt a little peace. That night, I went for a walk outside. The air was calm, the stars were out, and I started thinking about everything I had done wrong. I realized my biggest mistake wasn't losing money. It was letting greed and fear control me. I traded because I wanted quick money, not because I had skill or patience. I risked too much because I was greedy. I lost too much because I was afraid. I realized forex wasn't my enemy. I was my own enemy. My emotions destroyed me. That night, I promised myself something new. I said, "Daniel, no more rushing. No more greed. No more fear. If you ever go back into forex again, you'll do it the right way, with discipline, patience, and wisdom.